Happy day, guys. Who's getting close to retirement? I am. The Survivor Benefits Plan. What is it and how does it work? That's what we're covering in today's episode of The Road Program. Hey, it's Eddie. I ask you to please consider liking and subscribing to this channel, because it doesn't matter if it's 3 or 30 years. If you're in the military, one day you're getting out. And if you enjoy the content on this channel, please help us grow. Thanks. All right, so let's get right down to it. The Survivor Benefits Plan, or SBP, is a DoD-sponsored program that can give you up to 55% of your pension to an eligible beneficiary if you die. While you're active duty, the service is no cost, and if you're a reservist who dies during inactive duty training, the cost is also covered. So here is a key point. Once you die, your pension is gone. I'm eligible for retirement 1 November 2020. If I died 2 November 2020, then all of that pension is gone. Active duty service members can purchase the SBP upon their retirement. Reserve component service members can purchase SBP coverage after 20 years of qualifying service. So let's take a closer look at the SBP, some of the pros and some of the cons. And if you hang around till the end of the video, I'll tell you guys what me and my wife have chosen to do as far as SBP coverage. The Survivor Benefits Plan is a lifetime continuous annuity paid upon your death to an eligible dependent. So who is eligible? Your spouse, a former spouse, your children, or an insurable interest. An insurable interest, it can be somebody like a parent or other relative, or it can be somebody who could be financially hurt by your death. It can be a business partner or business associate. It has to be a person though. It can't be an organization or a robot. If you elect standalone coverage for your children, the premium is much lower. But that comes with a catch. They're only eligible for benefits while they're your dependents. So that means up until the age of 18 or the age of 22 if they're going to full-time college or a trade school. So what are some of the benefits of the SBP? Number 1, cost of living adjustment. Inflation goes up every year and it makes your money less valuable. The SBP is cost of living adjusted annually, so it helps cancel out some of that inflation. As a matter of fact, SBP beneficiaries who have been on the program since the 1970s have seen their payments quadruple. Number 2, the SBP isn't taxed. SBP comes out of your gross pay. For example, if you're in the 28% tax bracket and you have a $100 premium, you're actually paying $72. Number 3, there's no limit on the annual annuity for the SBP. If you happen to die early, your spouse could be receiving benefit pay for 50 years or more. There are spouses who, off of an original $2,000 annuity, have made over $2 million. Number 4, the government pays part of the operating costs, so that can keep your prices down. So here's a word of caution. If you are married at the time of retirement and you choose not to elect to cover your spouse, then that means that you cannot later elect to cover that spouse or any new spouse if your first marriage ends in death or divorce. To have any kind of coverage for a new spouse, you have to have elected the SBP at your time of retirement. People think that you can later sign up for the SBP during open seasons. Well, in the almost 40-year history of the SBP, there's been very few open seasons, and they've all come after major policy changes. And even the people that jumped in during those open seasons often had to pay premiums to catch up to all those lost payments. And you probably have to be alive for at least 2 years paying into the plan before you're eligible to receive the benefits. So how does the SBP actually work? Let's do a little math. So let's take a look at how the SBP breaks down for me. I'm going to retire as an 04, and 04 over 20 years is currently making $8,324. My pension will be 50% of that $8,324 for $4,162 a month. The premium for SBP is 6.5% of that pension, which in this case is $270 a month or over $3,000 annually. The annuity in the case that I die would be 55% of $4,162 or $2,289 or $27,000 annually. Now keep in mind, the 6.5% is for maximum coverage and you can get lower rates. The children-only option of the SBP, your premiums are relatively very inexpensive. I'll put up a chart here so you can see what your premiums are based on your current age and the age of your youngest child. Alright guys, so here's a chart. As you can see, the two big factors here are your youngest child's age and your age. Okay, and with those two factors, they come up with a payment schedule. For me, I'm 43, so I'd be somewhere in between here, and our youngest child is 2, so this would increase going to the left. I don't have the exact numbers. I'll get that in the counseling session that I get with the Survivor Benefits Plan as I'm retiring. The way this works is, for every $1,000 of covered retired pay, you pay these increments. So for example, the example they give here is if you're 50, your youngest child is 14, and for every $1,000 of covered pay, that would be $2.90. You can see this is much cheaper, much more inexpensive than the spouse coverage, but the spouse coverage goes on for the entire life of your spouse. If you were to pass away with the child-only coverage, your annuity would be divided by all your eligible children. So if you had 3 kids that were under 18, they would all get equal portions. As soon as a child became ineligible, then the remaining children would divvy up that annuity. So this all sounds great, right? Well, there are some disadvantages. If you have spousal coverage and your spouse dies, then that money goes for naught. If you have children that are covered, as soon as they turn 18 or 22, then that coverage is gone. And number 3, that 6.5% can add up to a lot of money along the way. If you have no beneficiaries at the time of your retirement, then you don't have to elect to take the SBP, but you do have to notify DFAST that you have no beneficiaries and that you're just not passing on the program. If you take a look at SBP and decide it's just not for you, then you can decline coverage, but you have to get a spouse's notarized signature and notify DFAST that you're passing on the program. Once they've been notified, then they won't take anything out of your pension, but you won't receive any benefits if you die. So there are a lot of specific circumstances that the SBP can cover, whether you're talking about divorce, former spouses, new spouses, children acquired after retirement or adopted after retirement. I'm not going to really go into all those individual cases, but if you check out the link below, it'll detail how all of those plans are executed. So what did Eddie and family decide to do? I think we're kind of in a unique position where I'm retiring, but we have very young kids, including one kid that's under 2. So we went with the child-only option. So we're paying low premiums and we have up to 20 years more of coverage. On top of that, we're also getting term life insurance. So in the event that I die soon, we're gonna have that monthly annuity that's being paid out from the SBP, plus a big bump from my life insurance policy paying off. One more thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's been almost 2 weeks from the previous video to today's video. That's because I've been taking my own advice and trying to increase my own value. I just completed an online course with Disaster Recovery Institute International, and now I'm a certified business continuity professional. I'm putting together a review of the course and expect to see that soon. Until then, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Stay safe out there, and we're out.